Hi everyone, my name is Ronald Denisio and I'm the Virtual Content Specialist for 7th grade Social Studies. In this teacher-facing video, I will go over strategies for teaching Unit 1, Day 19, Power and Persecution, including how to implement the Annotating Text Guide strategy. This lesson is adapted from Grade 7, Unit 1, Lesson 14, found on page 249 of the Passport to Social Studies Curriculum Guide. In this lesson, students will examine issues of power to understand the evolving relationships between Native societies and European colonies. While teaching the lessons from Native Americans, early encounters, and colonial development, make sure you are having ongoing conversations about the difficulty of teaching and learning about slavery and the mistreatment of Native Americans and Africans through history. Remind students that it is not a comfortable topic for anyone, and it is an awful time in the history of our nation. You could also remind students that they may encounter terms in primary sources that we know are not appropriate, but that are unfortunately representative of words used during this time in history, and continue to provide space for students to express their discomfort and feelings of anger or distress that may emerge from learning about these topics in history. Explain to students that they will read and annotate text to consider power and its role in the relationship between Europeans and Native Americans. We'll show students how to use the Annotating Text Guide strategy, which we'll talk about now. First, we'll introduce the strategy to students. Read and annotate your text. When you annotate a text, you become an active reader. It means that you are thinking with your pen in your hands. You are asking and answering historical questions, making connections from prior knowledge to other texts, and summarizing ideas. We'll share with students that annotating involves highlighting, underlining, and making marginal notes while reading a document. You can mark questions you have, understandings you reach, and connections made from one part of the text to another. We'll share with students that in this text, you're reading for evidence of power and to mark the text where issues of power are revealed. We'll also provide some guiding questions for students as they annotate, including what words or phrases stand out to you about power in this text? Why do you think these issues were important at the time and in that place? And what were strategies used to preserve or protect Native American power during the time of European settlement? As you can see, you can use the Annotating Text Guide strategy for lots of different lessons in the Passport to Social Studies curriculum. Try adding this strategy to your students' toolbox so they will be prepared to read and annotate a text. You can also replace the questions to think about as you annotate to match the lesson that you are teaching to your students. For example, I might ask my students, what words or phrases stand out to you about wealth in this text? Or what words or phrases stand out to you about morality in this text? It might be helpful to model how to use the Annotating Text Guide strategy for your students. For example, you can show students how to highlight a text, how to underline the text, and how to add notes and questions in the margins. You could also model think out loud as you're reading the text using some of the following guiding questions. What words or phrases stand out to you about power? In what way does the speaker address power? Why do you think these issues were important at the time and in that place? Does it seem like the power relationships between the groups stayed the same or changed? Once you model this strategy for students, they'll be ready to try this out on their own in partnerships or in small groups. After students get a chance to work on the Annotating Text Guide strategy, they can answer the following question. What strategies were used to preserve and protect Native American power during European settlement? Students can also answer the check for understanding question. How are power, wealth, and morality connected to the interactions between Europeans and Native Americans? You can ask students to share out words or phrases from the text that stand out to them about power. In conclusion, you can use the Annotating Text Guide strategy for many lessons in the Passport to Social Studies curriculum. Feel free to give this strategy a try.